everyone, and welcome to our study called Cherished by the King. Last week we finished our study about the unnamed woman in the Bible, and this week we are going to start studying the women who do have names. And our first story takes us to Luke chapter 10, and we meet Mary, Martha, and their brother Lazarus. However, Lazarus is not mentioned in this particular passage, but we know from other passages that they are actually siblings. And Martha was the oldest and Mary was the younger. And it was a beautiful thing to see from this passage that Jesus had friends and that he used them as an example of faith and of learning, a teaching moment to us and to each other. And in this story we see many things, and you'll read in your study this week, but traditionally women had a place. If they received guests to the house, guests like say Jesus and his disciples, the women would be in the kitchen preparing the food and making sure everyone had drinks, and they would be looking after the guests. But on this particular occasion Jesus was teaching, and Martha was busy doing what she was supposed to be doing and probably enjoyed doing. But Mary was sitting at the Lord's feet and listening to him. She was completely out of place. And Martha became upset about this because obviously it was a lot of work to do in the kitchen, and here Mary is sitting at the Lord's feet. So she tells Jesus, "Tell my sister to come help me." And we know that Jesus then tells her, "Martha, Martha, you are concerned and worried about many things, but only one thing is needed. Mary has chosen right, and it will not be taken away from her." And we see from these two sisters' lives the importance of what Jesus came to do. In another passage that you'll also study this week, in Mark chapter 1, Jesus tells his disciples that he came to preach the gospel and to save people's souls. And this is what was most important to Jesus. More than the healing, more than the miracles, was teaching the people to follow him. Teaching the people so that their hearts would change and turn to God. That was what Jesus' most important ministry was, apart from obviously dying on the cross for our sins. But his earthly ministry was to preach and to teach. And Mary was sitting there and absorbing what the Lord was teaching. And it would not be taken away from her. See, we can learn something from Mary and Martha's story. And it's not that Martha was doing wrong by serving. She was absolutely right in what she was doing. But at that very moment, with Jesus in the room, and with what Jesus was teaching, the food could wait. And that is what he tells Martha. There's so many distractions, there's so many things that we have to do every day. There's so many responsibilities that we have, so many ministries and so many jobs, kids that need to be raised, food that need to be made, shopping that need to get done. And all of these are important. But the most important thing for us as women and as anyone is that time of fellowship where we receive instruction from the Lord. Nothing should be more important than that. So I want to make an appeal to you from Mary and Martha's story. Don't neglect your time with Jesus and see it as something passive, but see it as an active thing and an active command and a life-changing, heart-changing transformation that can take place when you take instruction from the Lord. So be encouraged by this, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.